Welcome to this video on the UFC 305 review. Straight into the main card, really. Li Jianliang versus Prates. So obviously a great fight, really. Li Jianliang really going for over volume straight off the bat, trying to put it on Prates and not really getting anywhere, really missing a lot. And he just looked, Prates looked comfortable in this fight, waiting for the opportunities that came about, and they did come around. Really, that straight left hand was money all fight, and dropped him several times at the end of it. Dropped him, got him hurt with, again, the jab left straight, caught him again, and then followed it up later on with a left hook that dropped Li Jingliao, and he was out cold, and for a good while at least. It took them a while to get him to come back round after that, which is a bit scary how he fell, but obviously the beating he received before then carried on going. You would see that it's going to be a worse knockout after the beating he took before in the fight. So very good fight overall. Round one, really, Li Jianliang was putting out more volume, but just didn't really get anywhere with it. Like, Prates looked really comfortable, looking to drop him when he could, and he did. He got the left hand on him, and it dropped him, and I was like, straight away, that is not a good sign instantly. He looks comfortable. He looks relaxed. He's not overthrowing. Li Jingliang seemed to be overthrowing a bit there. And I did think, at least if Prates didn't get anything on him later on in round 3, I think he would be start gassing out, because he was throwing a lot, trying to throw in and end the fight early. And that's really it. Just a shot, the picks of the shots, staying comfortable. Prates did really amazingly well. Definitely going to go far into this division, looking to go upwards now. It really looked comfortable for him, so I think he does need that bigger next level step, at least 1 or 2 steps up from the current level he's fighting, like Li Jingliao. He needs to be a couple of steps up from that, because that just looked so easy. He did very well as well. I was very impressed with how he dropped him in round 1. He didn't overcommit. He was like, well, I know it's going to come round again. I know you're not terribly hurt at the minute. You got caught with one hand. Let's win this. Let's win this fight. Let's not get into anything where he even has a chance, which is very, very professional, very smart fighting. So I think he will do very well going up at least 1 or 2 levels in that division. Next fight, I think that's important. He needs to get out that division, start seeing some bigger and better fighters, something who will cause him to have a few more problems and has a bigger name. The bigger name is the big point. Next fight, Tuivasa versus Rozenstruik. Obviously went over the 3 rounds, and I'll talk about decision afterwards, but I did think round 1 Rozenstruik hit him with a few good hands. Tuivasa was good leg kicks off. Really, I give it to Rozenstruik just for getting shots to head off compared to leg kicks, and Tuivasa was sometimes overthrown, missing leg kicks, and was sometimes getting caught off them. So I think I give Rozenstruik round 1 definitely. You could argue the other way, but overall it's close enough. The second round definitely was Tuivasa exploding through, getting shots off. Tuivasa. Weird thing that happened late on. Tuivasa was winning quite comfortably, and then Tuivasa did a leg kick, which basically he missed. I think he just hit his toe or something weird on Rozenstruik's leg, and literally started stumbling back. I was thinking, whoa, he's done something here, broke his foot. So he hadn't. It sort of gave him a dead leg or something that recovered quite quickly. But Rozenstruik did get a good few shots off that really did quite damage Tuivasa. So again, Tuivasa, I think, definitely won that round, but again, it wasn't super comfortable for Tuivasa. But I do give the round to Tuivasa there. So I'm basically saying, going into round 3, whoever wins this third round, Tuivasa early on backs up Rozenstruik in round 3, and he's trying to get some big shots off. Rozenstruik gets a shot off in the clinch, which really opens up Tuivasa. It's a really good shot, and then Rozenstruik does well. So Tuivasa's coming in with like 3 or 4 shots. Rozenstruik's going under them, moving his head well, and then catching Tuivasa with a hook. And really, if you look at that, the only shots that really did damage was Rozenstruik's counter at the end of the combos. I gave that last round to Rozenstruik, as did so I get Rozenstruik to win 29-28, and I think if I remember rightly, 2 judges other than one of them gave it to Rozenstruik 29-28. The one judge came out with 30-27 Tuivasa in that fight, and basically then if you watch it and maybe rewatch it if you weren't watching the whole thing completely, basically in the next fight the commentators come out and basically go, that judge has been kicked out and he won't be judging again tonight, because it was just preposterous. It just, how can you give it that far, especially that third round was definitely a Rozenstruik round. I get a 29-28 the other way, maybe. Even then, it's a bit of a hard one. But it was such a weird pick that it just didn't make sense. And everyone was like, what? Well, when basically the announcers came out with like 30-27, and Tuivasa was like a bit, what's going on with this then? Because that makes no sense of what you've been watching. So, overall, good that the UFC's getting rid. If they see a fight like that where clearly one guy's won a round, you can't. What did you see? And at least I would say 29-28 is a correct scoring. The other 2 judges agree with it. And really, that second round was close. Late on, if you're taking on how it ends, Rozenstruik got very good shots off when the leg problem hit Tuivasa. So weird one, but a good thing that the UFC is looking at these judges going, if you're making stupid decisions where it doesn't make sense and you cannot quantify how that's happened, you're gone. We'll get another judge in for the rest of your fights that you're judging tonight. So I think it's good that we don't just hold on to these judges that are, giving out weird decisions and, not understanding how the scoring, how they're scoring and what should they be scoring. So that was a good sign. And luckily, the guy who should have won did win. I think Rozenstruik won that fight. I think Tuivasa could have done more and he should have done more, especially in round 1. Go out there faster. Rozenstruik likes a slower pace. As a kickboxer, likes a slow pace where he can just pick you apart, get in there and explode, because when you did that in round 2 you were doing well. So Rozenstruik gets a win and goes up that division in heavyweight. Next fight, Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Obviously very good fight. Again, this was a very good fight. Gamrot drops Dan Hooker round 1, and it just seems like, whoa, he's on the feet dropping you. That's a problem. Then Dan Hooker drops Gamrot in the same round, so basically goes back straight away. I gave that first round to Gamrot just for the more damage. Obviously, both got a knockdown, but the knockdown Gamrot did, he actually started smashing Hooker on the ground with punches and split open. It definitely his right eye below it, left eye like next to it, but it didn't really affect him for the rest of the fight. But then especially his nose as well was busted after that and was a lot of damage. And I did think you were quite close to an end there, but Dan Hooker got out of it, so well done to him. Round 2, Gamrot gets him on the ground early, but overall Dan Hooker did very well at nullifying that ground game. I think that was the whole point around what Dan Hooker was doing. He's really using guillotines to then just not really go for the guillotine as a submission, but really push forward and go, I'm going to get up from this, using the guillotine to get up from this when Gamrot's trying to wrestle him, and it really did work. Gamrot had a lot of time on the ground in round 2. And Hooker got on top of Gamrot in that late on in that round, which was just over halfway through. Gamrot got on top and did well. And I actually give round 2 to Gamrot again. That's another Gamrot round. So I got 2 rounds for Gamrot. Definitely round 1. Round 2 is a bit more iffy between the two of them. I think quite a few people gave it Hooker, but overall it's a close one. I think it depends how much you consider the top control the Gamrot gave him for most of the round compared to what Hooker did, getting up and getting on the feet, because Hooker didn't really do necessarily much, and Gamrot had a lot of control. And then round 3, Hooker a lot of cuts, which doesn't look good early on, but Gamrot gets Hooker down early but can't keep him down. Again, the same thing, Hooker doing well to keep Gamrot going back, and basically he's pushing him back to stop him getting them takedowns, and he's doing well to throw the punches and get punches on him. Last round I gave the 10-9 to Hooker, so overall I've got 29-28 Gamrot, and I've just put really close, could go either way, to be honest. That round 2 is really the decider, and that could go either way really, depending on how you look at it. And Hooker gets the decision. And that's the thing. I think it could have went either way. None of them really pushed to show themselves as that guy who definitely won the fight. I think it's really on how the judges really saw it. So I think that's a fair result. Hooker got the win. I obviously, when watching it first time, didn't think so, but overall a good win nonetheless. Now going into it's been a great fight card, to be honest with you. It's been a very good fight card. Herzog versus Kai France. Herzog keeping the middle early in round 1, trying to get the timing, and letting Kai France miss, and basically going backwards, letting him miss and just getting out the way. And then just really catching him with a couple of things, Kai France was just exploding forward. And basically on one of these explosions, he's missing every time. And again, I thought, right, he's going to miss. He misses the right hook. He then comes right over with a left, catches Herzog straight on the chin, as he's basically, because Herzog is trying to back up, and he's got his head sort of backwards and chin up, and he just catches him straight on the chin with the left, goes down, starts hitting on him. Herzog gets back up, gets hit again, and gets put down, and then just ground and pounded, and the referee says that's enough. A great performance by Kai France against a great guy in the division, went against a champion, really puts him in the window of getting a title opportunity very soon in that division. I think that's the whole point of this fight. Who will next sort of be considered to fight the champion or be up there in the top 2 or 3. A great performance though, a great performance. I do think really Herzog didn't do really that well. I think he'd be disappointed with that. I think he was trying to time him. I think he was doing well. I think he was learning and going, okay, I'm going to get you here. And really just one little mistake, and then, like all the fighting, one little mistake, you leave your chin in the air, and that's it. And I think Herzog won't be happy with that result, getting KO'd first round. But overall, got to keep that chin tucked to this level. Can't just be going back and with chin in the air, especially when you're tall. Look, they can't, they're really reaching for it, and the way they'll reach for it is going to catch you straight on the chin. Like that, you see, he misses the right hook, he comes in with the left, and he just sort of wildly catches you. And really, at this level, when you're fighting for championships, that these things shouldn't be catching you like they did there. One mistake throws you down the division, and you got to get a good couple of wins against good fighters to get back up there now for Steve Herzog. Obviously, a great fighter, I do think, going to be up there with the champions one day, but has got to go back and learn a few bits. Kai France, great win, looking to go up that division now. Now, on to the main event. Adesanya versus Duplessis. Obviously, let's go round by round. But a great fight overall. Duplessis trying to explode forward round 1. A lot of feeling out from both of them. I think it was just really trying to feel each other out. Duplessis cut on the forehead as there's sort of a clinch situation. Knee goes in from Adesanya and it cuts him on the forehead. Duplessis, good right hook going forward around 1. and very fast high kicks from him. That's what I sort of said was that, for a big guy like that, and sort of like the stockiness of him, you wouldn't expect how fast his high kick was, the kick to the head, and it was very fast. But he's really using it at the point of, I would say at least, that you don't want to be using it. Adesanya's waiting for it. He kicks him 2 or 3 times all to the head, and it's a bit like, that's predictable. If you've got it that fast, you want to be bodying and then kicking high, and you'll catch him. But round 1 I give to Du Plessis, 10-9. I think he was just more active in that round, especially. Du Plessis, round 2, a lot more volume early. Good takedown by Du Plessis as well. Du Plessis now gets to the back of Adesanya in round 2, but Adesanya does well to get back up. And then this is where it sort of starts changing, I think. Adesanya starts backing up Du Plessis. Good shots coming off from Adesanya, and Du Plessis keeping... just really keeping himself in there. But Adesanya starts backing him up. But overall, from that start of that round, I think Du Plessis got the decision there. So I think Du Plessis currently is 2 rounds up at this point. But then this is where it definitely does start changing. Round 3, Adesanya now backing up Du Plessis. Du Plessis seems to be going that round 1, round 2, where he's throwing a lot more volume, is sort of starting to catch up with him, it looks like. Adesanya starts getting some good shots off. Adesanya trying to catch the body of Du Plessis with kicks and also punches. He's starting doing hook combos to the body and then going upstairs, and it's really nice, and it'll just pay dividends later on in this fight. And trying to get Du Plessis to start dropping his hands when he's kicking like that. Great spinning elbow by Adesanya. So the actual Du Plessis explodes forward with a couple shots, and I think Adesanya gets out of the way of one of them and just spinning elbow, and the sound of it was quite incredible on when I was watching it. It was quite an incredible fight. Catching Adesanya well late on, Du Plessis, and then a good couple body shots from Adesanya, and I think Adesanya gets this round quite clearly. Round 3. Round 4, Adesanya again going great back to that body, great shots, and Du Plessis looks tired now. He's starting to look tired, fatigued. Adesanya going forward and getting good shots off. Du Plessis getting caught off the pace as well, and getting shots off to the head, getting caught quite often with getting backed up. Du Plessis chasing Adesanya now, sort of to try to get some shots off, but as he does so, gets Adesanya to, basically gets a shot off as he rushes forward, and it just catches Adesanya very weirdly. It's not something I'd expect Adesanya to be caught with, but he does, and literally Du Plessis just chasing him and just trying to fire out like long looping hooks at him and catches him again, gets Adesanya down and then goes in for the double leg, gets him down to the ground, gets his back, and that's all that mattered. Submission by Du Plessis. Round 4. Overall in the fight, I think if Adesanya had have done better in that situation, managed to keep himself safe, honestly, I think Adesanya was coming into that fight a lot more than Du Plessis. Du Plessis had the start, and he started wearing down, being, sort of his stamina is going downwards, whereas Adesanya is going into that fight. I think round 4, until he got caught in that round, he was winning that round as well, and then you go into round 5 as sort of the fresher guy, drawing the fight so far. So I think that was a good point for Adesanya. We'll see when he comes back. He's saying he'll be back when he is, and said it wouldn't be a 3-month layoff. It'll probably likely be more. From what he's suggesting is when he comes back is when he comes back. And I think, look, where does he go now? Who does he fight? Because Du Plessis probably won't be a straight rematch for Adesanya, seeing as he's not just lost that's his first fight against Du Plessis. He lost against the champion, then lost again, so I think he's down the division slightly. I think he'll have to fight someone else from Sean Strickland or Du Plessis to then win that, and then fight one of those two for basically either championship or go in for the contender spot to fight the champion after that. I think it's hard for Adesanya. He's got a lot of money, clearly, from the UFC. He was fighting a lot. He's obviously earning his money from that. He's a star. He's a superstar in the sport. You know, a lot of people know him outside this. He has a big following. He has lots of money outside the cage that he's probably making. What does he really want to come back and fight? You know, probably you're looking at least 2 times probably before he gets another title shot. Is that really what he wants to do? Look, he may do it. That might be the idea that he comes back for, but he needs exciting fights for that sort of level of character and the level of that UFC will be paying as he's a superstar. You need big names, and Duplessis they made it a rivalry. There's something there with Sean Strickland, but I think there's another fight that's needed before he goes back in the ring with one of them two. And it's tough. I don't know who else he fights that has a big enough name there that actually makes it worthwhile for him in that division. I think it's very hard for Adesanya at the minute. Who does he want to come in against? He wants to be coming into someone he thinks he can probably beat, and that's probably the issue there. He does need a fight where he's going to win. He does need to be at a high level, but again, Sean Strickland beat him. Duplessis just beat him. He's probably not going to go straight into another title, fight there. Robert Whittaker, do people really want to see that again? And then you're really going for, another fight. Maybe Chimaev. If Chimaev beats Robert Whittaker, he goes up to that top end of that division. Is it Adesanya and Chimaev? I think it could be, but I think that's a very tough fight. I don't think that would be any way a good idea for Adesanya to take against Chimaev. I think, you've been submitted by Duplessis now. Yes, Chimaev's nowhere near as good on the feet, I don't think, as Duplessis. Again, though, I think he's much better on the ground, and I think that's a tough fight for you. If you do get grounded by Chimaev, he's going to do a lot worse than what Duplessis done to you in this fight, where you could get up. I don't think you will get up. So yeah, we'll just have to see. That could be an idea for Chimaev, but that's if he fights in that division, and Robert Whittaker, I don't really know who wants to see that, maybe, but I think it's tough because Adesanya's cleared out a lot of this division, so that's a tough sort of scenario Adesanya's in. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. A great card. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.